Hello guys and welcome to this video. So if you are a beginner or if you've just started Heroes of History recently, this video is exactly for you. In this video we are gonna cover everything a new player needs to know. First, we're gonna talk about heroes, of course, how they work, their attribute, and even a quick tier list to help you at the start. Then how to actually build a solid team around the pools and the heroes you've got. In third, we're gonna talk about the resources management. There is a lot of resources, so what to prioritize and what to spend and when to spend this. After that, we are gonna talk about antimatters, rewards, events, and all this comes together in one and simple calendar. Fifth, we're gonna talk about the campaign, the gems, and map expansions, because those three subjects are way more related than what we think. And finally, how to get help and find maybe the community if you ever get stuck. So let's get into it. Okay, so first we got the heroes, and to start with those heroes, we're gonna talk about, of course, the stars of the heroes. And let me be straight on this point, guys. The stars doesn't mean anything. Of course, 5 stars hero meant to be strong, but there is some 3 stars hero and definitely a lot of 4 stars hero that are way better than some of the 5 stars hero. So in this game, what we are gonna focus on is abilities way more than like the rarity and the number of the stars. We will see in this tier list that we're gonna go into soon that there is a lot of valuable 3 stars and especially 4 stars hero. The only thing you have to remember about those stars is that this will affect your maximum hero cap in terms of levels. So basically the 5 stars hero are gonna have a higher cap than the 4 stars that have a better cap than the 3 stars, etc. That's true for the hero level, of course, here, but that's also true for his ability. His maximum ability level for a 4 star is gonna be 40, and a maximum ability for a 4 stars is gonna be, for example, 25. We have some other small specificities, like in this Pantheon. This is more like middle late game, but just for your information, the 5 stars heroes are gonna have 5 level in this Pantheon, and the 4 stars hero will only have 5 levels. Besides those 3 specific points, the stars are not very important. Just keep in mind those level caps for the level heroes and his ability, okay? And this will tell you how far you're gonna play this hero. But for now, even level 3 heroes are gonna be very useful. For now, don't really care about this. Then each hero has some specific attributes. Each hero has a color. So this color is basically an element, just like in Pokemon, you know, we have the fire element, we got this earth element, we got the water element, the light and the dark element. This is very helpful because, as you can maybe guess, the red will be better against the green will be better against the blue, etc, etc. We will gonna deep dive into this one with the fight chapter that is coming right after this one. But for now, just remember that this color will affect some attack and bonus defense, and also will be very helpful in this Tesla campaign. That's pretty much it for the colors right now. After that, we're gonna see the class. So basically there are 6 different classes of heroes. Those classes are very important, especially when it comes to hero selection during some specific events or for those historic battles. So for the classes, we're gonna review them very quickly. So we got first here the single strikers. So basically the single strikers are very strong against heroes and every fight that are heroes involved, and also Tesla Storm, because Tesla is one big target. Those single strikers mainly have an ability that will focus one target and deal a lot of damage to that one target, so they are not gonna be effective against big packs of troops, the large squads that we can see here, because they are really focusing on one big target. After that, we got the area attacker, and the area attacker are especially strong against large squads because they are gonna focus a lot of troops, of small troops, and their ability is gonna affect area instead of a specific target. So basically those guys are shaped to destroy large squads, and they will very be helpful in every mod that involves big squads. So in Campaign, in Treasure Hunt, and in Siege of Orleans, because this is one specific historic battle that is spamming a lot of troops, and they are gonna be weak against enemy heroes. They are not focusing one big target, they are focusing an area, and they have small damage into big area, instead of the single strikers that have big damage but into one specific target. Area attacker and single strikers are the two main classes that are shaped to deal damage. One is made for heroes, other is made for big squads. After that we got the defenders, and the defenders are very useful. It's the first and mainly class that is gonna be your front lane and all your tanks, and defenders are especially strong because they will taunt enemies and they will allow you to make a kind of choke point in the map that will helps you to concentrate all your area attacker damage, and this will be very efficient to clear and wipe all the waves. So those guys are mainly here to aggro and to take all the damage. They will be very focused on defense and building shields and, you know, some kinds of stuff. So this defender class is absolutely a must-have. You will be pretty much use them in every mode, in arena, in campaign, in events, etc. The only weak point they've got, of course, is that in Tesla Storm, because in Tesla Storm you don't really need like this kind of front lane, you just want to destroy one big target. So of course in Tesla Storm they will not be very useful. Next we got the healers, and yeah, basically guys, this is one of the most important class, if not the most important class in the game. We are always demanding for new healers. Oh yeah, nothing much to say about healers. I think everybody knows what healers do. They will of course heal your enemy. They will excel in every mode, of course, and they rely on other to put damage. Yeah, that's the principle of healer, you know. So yeah, basically a very strong class. After that we got the support class, and this support class, guys, is a bit specific. The two last classes, I'm gonna talk about those two in one chapter. Support and manipulators have some very specific use case, okay? You will find some damage increase, some buff reduction, some stun, some crowd control, some charming effects. So those are some specific effect for this game. Yeah, basically they are very situational. They can be absolutely insanely strong and they can be absolutely useless. That is depending to you, and that is depending on what mod you are using them. For me, I see those two classes like the sides roles that you want in your composition. All your composition is gonna be built around one healer, one defender, and some damagers. And those manipulators and support heroes are gonna be the last piece of the puzzle that you want to set up in your composition. They will also be very strong if you encounter a main issue, like a specific hero that is killing everybody. You can probably have a better answer than just damage and defense with manipulators and supporters. You can disable, you can charm, you can mental control, you can stun, and those guys are very good for this. After that, we got the heroes type. So basically the types are not very important, and you will think about those heroes type in two specific conditions. First of all is when you're gonna up your abilities. Of course, you will have to upgrade them in the proper barrack. So the barrack have to match the type. And the second use case of those types is during this art campaign, you will sometimes have some restrictions. But besides than this, honestly, you will not very care about this. We're gonna review them very quickly, but that's not very important. We have the heavy infantry, so those mainly are tanks and frontliners. You will find a lot of defenders, but not only defenders. After that, here we got the infantry. So the infantry is the front lane, but heroes that are pretty much shaped to deal damage. So here you're gonna find a lot of duelists, for example. After that, we got the archers. Archers, basically, this one is pretty useful because archers are gonna be ranged heroes. So basically they will not go into the front lane, they will stay back into the back lane, and they will put and deal their damage into this back lane. So this one is pretty important if you want to manage your positioning. And after that, those are the siege. So basically the siege are here to deal with big troops, big packs of troops. In those siege, you're gonna find a lot of AoE heroes, for example. This is not a perfect science. You will find some ranged heroes into the infantry. Just keep this in mind, but do not care about this too much. Okay guys, now we are gonna review very quickly all the heroes and make this tier list. We are gonna only check for the regular antimatter. So for the 5 stars hero, I'm gonna make this very quick. If it happens that you got one of those heroes, you are pretty lucky, because those heroes for me are the S tier heroes. They are very strong, especially at the beginning of the game, because they will be useful in many use cases. For the A tier, I will put those heroes. They are definitely very strong. It's just that they are not as flexible as the S tier, but definitely still a very strong hero, and if you pulled one of those, you are still very lucky. In the B tier, I will put those heroes. I would say that they are good, very good in some specific use case, and they will reveal themselves a little bit later in the game. And finally, we got those two heroes, so Einstein and Hercules. So basically, those heroes are not bad heroes, but in my opinion, and that's really up to me, I think there are some 4 stars heroes that are gonna be way stronger than those two, so that's why I've put them in the lower tier. Same thing here for the 4 stars hero. Those 4 stars hero are absolutely insane. I still use a lot of those. After that, in the A tier, I'm gonna put those hero. They are very, very strong heroes. They will help you definitely very strong in the start of the game. After that, we got the B tier, and for those heroes, they are good and situational. It's only that we don't really like invest so much in them after that. I will say those heroes will definitely help you in the start, or can help you in the start of the game, but you will quickly find better heroes to replace them and basically do the same job. So my advice here is do not spend too much resources on those guys, and by too much I mean do not go over level 40 or 50 for example, but basically they are not bad. Now for the 3 stars, and for this one guys I'm gonna be very quick. I'm just gonna highlight what 3 stars you should invest to. So we got those S tier, of course, 3 stars that I'm still using. So now some of those are 5 stars because there is a kind of event that can transform 3 stars into 5 stars, but that's not the point here. The point is to say that they are still S tier even without this Eternalize. I'm still using those guys in a daily basis, you know, so they are very, very strong. And after that, I'm gonna just put and highlight the other 3 stars that for me are okay to invest on, and we're talking about those heroes. And finally, for the 2 stars, this one is gonna be very quick, so I only put in S tier Naya and this Mukizuki because they are very, very strong in the beginning. After that, we are gonna see just the A tier. Those are just the 2 stars that you can invest a little bit on, and those are these heroes. That was it for this tier list, guys. So basically, remember that this tier list is especially made for the beginners. After that and later on the game, this tier list will evolve. I'm especially thinking about Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin that I've put in a low tier category, but those guys are absolutely insane. So yeah, that was it. Now we're gonna see how to build an actual team around the pools you've got. Okay guys, a small point here to talk about rerolls. I'm not like a very big fan of rerolling account because this might be really painful, long, and just being discouraging more than other. But if it happens that you have a hero that you very don't like, you can try maybe one reroll. I'm not saying that you have to reroll until you get one of the S tier hero. This is absolutely not what this tier list was made for. But if you really want to reroll, like go for it, but go for it early in the game. Don't waste too much time because this can be painful, you know. That was just this about the rerolls. I'm personally not a big fan, and of course I got this Medusa in my first pool, but at the time I didn't even know she was that strong. Of course it's a very strong hero, so I didn't ask myself the question back at the time, but if you're asking your question, this is my opinion. Okay guys, now for the chapter 2 we are gonna talk about fights and how to actually build a solid team. And for that we are gonna analyze 2 mainly important things. So the first thing is all the system of the colors, the elemental advantage. This is pretty simple. The red units are gonna deal 125% damage to green units, so they have a bonus of 25% extra damage to green units. But which is also important is that green units, okay, are gonna deal less damage to red units. So basically this is a 2-way advantage. Reds are gonna deal more damage to green, and green are gonna deal less damage to red units. This is very important. And so on for the other colors. The specific part is that for the yellow and the purple, they are just countering each other. And how you want to manage that is that, for example, if we have a yellow pack here, I'm gonna go for a yellow defender. So I'm not taking extra damage for my defender, and I'm gonna try to put an attacker in purple, so this guy is gonna get an extra bonus attack on the yellow units. If this pack would have been purple, I would preferably have go for Bismarck as a main defender, and for example Quincy as a DPS. So my Bismarck wouldn't take the malus in defense, but this Quincy will take the bonus in offense. For the regular colors, this is way more easy. If you have blue, just put green in front lane and back lane. The front lane in green will get this bonus defense, and this back lane in green will get this bonus offense. So that will work in every case. So let's say, for example, in the beginning we can play this guy in front lane, and for a DPS we can play maybe Medusa for an AoE. So that is the very first thing you have to think about when you want to build a team. The second very important thing when it comes to team building is to make a balanced team. And by a balanced team, I mean you have to mix up some different classes. If you only go for defenders, for example, you will lack some damage. And if you go for only damage, you will lack some front lane. So how to build a balanced team? So for every fight, you are gonna need what I like to call the Holy Trinity. This Holy Trinity is very good for every fight, especially in this game. So basically, what is the Holy Trinity? So the Holy Trinity is first a tank that is gonna aggro all the map. You want this guy to make a choke point, as I was telling, in order for your DPS to focus the same area and get efficiency into their abilities. So first of all, this Trinity is gonna start with a tank and someone who can taunt. After that, we're gonna need a healer to maintain this guy alive, because this guy is gonna take all the damage from everyone, so we want to maintain him alive. So we're gonna put a healer. And the third element of this Trinity is damage. Because in the meantime that this guy is, waiting for his death to come, we have to kill people. So this is the Holy Trinity, guys. If you have heroes instead of small troops like that, DPS is not going to be an area attacker like this Mercury, but it's going to be a single striker like this Robin Hood, for example. But that's the same principle. You see, you can see this Trinity with also single strikers. So let's get into this example. So we are going to take here Mercury. And for example, here I am going to put one other front lane, no matter which one, this one, for example, just to show you that if we don't have any taunters, these units will focus here, these units will focus here, and this Mercury might not focus everybody in one spell. So our objective here is to focus one spell on every small troops, and for that we are gonna need this taunter. So here we go, we're gonna put this thing off. So basically, as you can see here, the units are not on the same area, so I am gonna taunt. This taunt will bring everybody here, and so we are sure that this Mercury might target everybody. So basically, once you know that, you have to take all of this in consideration, the colors, the counters, and what role is gonna fulfill each hero, and you just have to mix this all together. So for example, I'm gonna go for this Minos in front lane. As long as we got one taunter, we are not forced to play another taunter. This guy will already make a good choke point. So for this front lane, I am just gonna go for, you know, a basic green front laner. So maybe this Marco Polo, for example. It's not really a frontliner. This guy will jump into this pack, but we don't care about this positioning. He's gonna go back lane in any way. And after that, I'm gonna just adapt. So I'm gonna put this healer and just go for your best heroes. Even if they are not matching the color, it's not a big deal. If you can have a hero that is matching the color, for example, this Medusa is perfect here, I'm gonna play this Medusa, but if that's not the case, it's gonna be okay. And for example, I can put this Edison here, this Edison. So basically this guy will taunt, all those units will gonna come here, and this Edison is gonna jump into the biggest pack, so he's gonna target and the yellow and the blue. That will work. So that is just one example, guys. I can make another example if you want to very understand that. So I'm gonna take this use case because there is a lot of colors, there is small troops, there is big troops like heroes, and you're like, what I am supposed to do in this kind of case? For this kind of level, just go for your best troops, guys. Just go for what is already at max level in your pools of hero and just adapt the situation. So here I am just gonna put some single strikers. So basically I am gonna put this guy to take care about the back lane, and I still want to care about this front lane, so I am gonna go for this Minos. I am of course gonna go for one healer, and I am gonna go at least for one AoE. So it happens that this Edison guy is very strong because he can handle the small troops, and he also will be very strong against hero because his scaling is very strong. So basically I'm gonna go for this Edison, and for the last spot maybe I will go for, you know, just a supporter or some other hitter to be sure to 3-star the wave, or maybe just go for another strong hero you have like this Marie Curie, for example. Once you have done that, check your positioning, try to optimize everything. So I'm gonna go for Minos here, just for this purple line to get a maximum of time to get to my Minos and win a maximum of time. If I put him here, they will hit him way faster than if I am putting him here. Okay, this Robin Hood is gonna hit the farthest enemy, prioritizing heroes, so I want to maybe kill this Cleopatra. This Cleopatra is gonna be a pain, I think, if she's mental controlling everyone. So I am gonna put this guy here, so his farthest target is gonna be Cleopatra. If I wanted him to kill this Hatshepsut, I would have put him here. So this is micro optimization you can do, not depending on the colors, not depending on the specificity and class of the heroes, but just depending on what the ability is doing. So you have to mix everything this up, guys, and try to make the best composition to pass the level. Okay, so now that you know how to build a solid team and what hero you can rely on in this early game, I'm gonna talk now about the resources management. This is very important. There is a lot of resources. So basically, and if I had to sum up, there is two kinds of resources. There are the resources that will help your heroes. So we are talking here about the XP scrolls, the food, the different ascension materials, and there are a second kind of resources that will help your progression in the game. I'm talking here about your main base, your building upgrades, and especially your tech tree and your era. Those resources are of course the research point, the research materials, and your gold. And yes, there is also a kind of third category, which is the goods. Those goods will help you through the tech tree, but also to upgrade your heroes through the barracks, which is very important. So for the first category of resources, the one that helps your hero to get higher in terms of level, I'm gonna say that the most important, especially at the beginning, you will need a lot of those XP scrolls. You cannot produce them as easily as food because you will only have one building that will allow you to produce those, compared to the food that you can put a lot of farms to just gather more food. So those XP scrolls, especially at the beginning, I would say is a very high value resources. So if you are stuck in the campaign or don't really know how to spend your stamina, click on the XP scroll here and spend your stamina into the battle that will give you some extra XP. This is very important. If you don't do this and you spend all your energy into Tesla, for example, you will probably lack some XP scrolls when it comes to upgrading your heroes. But do not forget also the Tesla, of course, because if you are only taking XP and you don't have those common crests, you will probably be stuck also into the ascension of your heroes. So you have to find the right balance between using your extra stamina, between XP scrolls and Tesla breakdowns. And of course, if you can go into the campaign, go into the campaign. I'm only thinking if you get stuck a little bit in the campaign, or if you need some certain heroes to get some higher level to beat the next campaign, you can repeat, and this is very important. Do not hesitate at the beginning to repeat the same thing to get your XP and to get your common crest. Another important point about resources management, especially regarding your heroes priority. So basically in this game, you're gonna see some heroes with the same mechanics. I'm gonna take a quick example for those three heroes. So basically you have Marco Polo, you have Edison, and you have Da Vinci. So those three heroes, if you look at their capacity, they are pretty much the same mechanic. They are gonna jump into the fight and they are gonna do their split damage. Just like the color, we can make a comparison with Pokemon. It's a little bit like there is kind of evolution. So the Marco Polo will be the first evolution, the Edison will be the second evolution, and the third evolution will be Da Vinci, because they are 3, 4, and 5 stars hero. But in some certain case, like this Edison, for example, sometimes the 4-star is better than the 5-star. We can take this example for this trio also. So for the defenders, we have Bismarck, we have Minos, and we have this Caesar. And honestly, Minos is way better than Caesar. So yeah, that's just to explain you that once you get, especially for the 3 stars to the 4-star, you want to upgrade your hero set. So basically, if you are investing in Marco Polo a lot, and at this point you unlock this Edison, you might want to stop upgrading your Marco Polo and go for the Edison, because he's gonna do the same thing that your Marco Polo, but in a better way, you know? So that's just to explain you how this is evolving through the stars, how the heroes and the mechanics are getting better. And for some specific case, the 4-star is gonna be better than the 5 stars. For the second category of the resources, and those one we tend a little bit more to forget them, but they are very, very important. Do not forget your progression in the game, guys. So basically here the main difficulty will be to keep up on your progression without being stuck, and when I mean stuck, it's more like being capped into your research point. You can gain every 45 minutes one research point, and you want to be able to spend this research point and to gain this research point. So basically for me at the beginning I was very, very struggling into not capping this on 10 on 10. I want always this timer to be running so I can be sure that my progression in the game is also running. So basically you have to be smart in your decisions. You want to upgrade the buildings and the things that will get you the research materials that you need, and also for example be smart into the choices you get in this tech tree. For example, those two techs here are unlocking different other techs, and we can see here that if I am unlocking the basket weaving first, I'm gonna be able to unlock two other techs, and those techs here will allow you to spend your research point. So basically if you unlock this tech you will be able to spend way more research point because you will be able to get to those two new technologies, and if you unlock this technology first you will only be able to spend on one technology. So this might be a little bit specific for now, but just remember to prioritize the technology that allows you to open the more technology behind. So this one is, for example, another example. If I go for the screws, I'm gonna be able to spend into two different technologies. That will help you to spend way easily your research point and not to be capped at this 10 on 10. Also, if you want your progression to be faster, do not forget to upgrade your housing. We tend a little bit to forget those, but those are very important because if you don't have gold, all your upgrade will be stuck, and if your upgrade are stuck, all your tech tree is gonna be stuck. Do not underestimate the gold, guys. This is very important, and the housing. And while you are talking about the housing, let me give you a very useful advice about housing, and this can also apply to farms. So basically in the building menu here you have the choice between two kinds of home, the small home and the medium home, and that's the same principle for the farms. So we got the Reroll farm and the domestic farm basically, and to sum up this in one line, if you basically play and can connect every 3 hours, go for small farms and small homes. If your availabilities are more like one connection every 6 hours, go for the domestic farm and the medium home. I'm gonna deep dive into this subject in another video, but just for now remember this. If you are not sure on how many times you're gonna invest in the game, you can mix up a little bit small and medium, but I will recommend you to make a decision quickly because right now I have too much medium home and I'm gonna have to transition and to sell all of this for only small homes because I connect every 3 hours, so that's a very important point. Okay guys, we are now already at the fourth point, which is the point which is the most exciting for me because we are gonna talk about antimatters, event and rewards. And at this point, if you like this kind of video, please hit that like button and of course subscribe. It's for the YouTube algorithm to suggest more content like this. So about those antimatters, so we got basically 4 kinds of antimatters. We have the regular time portal antimatter, the blue one, we already know this one. After that we got this legendary time portal, so it's basically the same as the time portal, the regular time portal, but you only have 4 and 5 stars to pull. For every portal, if you want to see the statistic, the probability and which hero you can get, you just click on this little eye here and you can see every heroes and what are the probability. So as you can see in this legendary AM, we have 6% chance to get 1 5-star compared to this regular anti-portal where we only get 0.5 chance to get. So basically this legendary time portal is nice, but let me be honest with you guys. I've been playing for this game for 8 months and I never pulled 5 stars from this legendary. I've got my PT at 19, so I opened 19 of them in 8 months and I never pulled 1 5 stars. So yeah, do not focus too much in this legendary portal. The regular time portal will give you and provide way more 5 stars, and especially all those portals too, than the legendary. So this one is really shiny, you know, we are like hypnotized by this color, but yeah, in fact, is not really delivering for now. So yeah, basically that was it. The third portal that you are gonna get is this time portal. This one is a bit specific because we are currently in a kind of event, but basically you will get some allied culture events that will provide you one specific antimatter for each allied culture. So basically those AM are gonna be time limited. You will have only 5 days to play this allied culture, and after the 5 days this event will be over. But you have to know that even if the event is over, the antimatter will not disappear and you will not lose any antimatter. This is very, very important, guys. For any kind of antimatter, you cannot lose them. The only antimatter you can lose are those exclusive time limited portal, because this is a specific event, and even if you forget to open them, the game will open those antimatter for you, and at the end of the event, when you're gonna reconnect to the game, you will get some new heroes. So you can be relaxed on this point. We can indeed keep all the antimatters, and this is what I'm doing if you see my screen right now, of course. So yeah, basically those are the 3 first antimatter that you can get, and the first one is the Arcane time portal. So this one is also a little bit specific because the 2 heroes that you can get from here are gonna change every month. So it's basically the season portal. You have to see this like this, and every month you have 2 new heroes, and this Arcane time portal is very valuable because you only can get 3 stars, 4 or 5 stars. You can click on this little eye here and you can see which heroes you can get. So for example, as you can see, for the allied culture event, this one, so right now it's a bit specific, but for the allied culture event you can get specific heroes that you only can get during and into these portals, so those are very valuable. The Arcane time portal is exactly the same principle, but instead of having always the same heroes, we are gonna have 2 different heroes every month. So yeah, basically that's pretty much it about those kind of AM. I'm not gonna deep dive into this one. You're gonna discover this through the game. What I really want to focus on right now is this PT. This is one of the most important feature in the game, guys, because this PT, so basically what is the PT? Using a lot of the word PT in all my video, and this is what this means. So basically the PT is your guarantee 5 stars hero. Every portal has his own PT. If you open some AMs, this will count in the PT, and every portal has his own PT. For example, you can see in the legendary PT that it's only 20 because those are very, very difficult to drop, and for the regular time portal it's basically every 200 because this is really easy to drop. So yeah, the PT mechanic, guys, is very, very important because it's the only feature in the game that allows you to control the time when you pull a 5 stars hero. Even if you put money in the game, you won't be able to control that pulls. You will have to open and get to that PT. And right now you might think why I should control the timing where I get a 5 stars. Well, at the beginning it's not very important, but the more the game will go on, the more you will get some events unlockable. And for one specific event that is called the Summon of the Stars, you can get a lot of rewards if you manage to get 1 5-star during this special event. This timing is very, very important when the game will go on for you. Right now you just want to pull new heroes, but at a certain point you will have to consider having a long-term strategy. That's pretty much it for the antimatters, guys. If you want to have an overview of all the events already running or coming up, you can go here to your menu, get this button, and you can see here the event calendar will give you all the information. Will also give you the information where you have some specific chance to get bonuses, etc. So basically I'm not gonna dive into this one, but yeah, just having this in consideration, this is very, very important, guys. I always open this to see when I'm gonna be able to get my rewards and to open my AM. A last important point is about those allied culture events that we were talking early on, and those allied culture events are a 5 days culture event. So basically what is it is that you're gonna have to build a kind of side base, and in a lot of mobile games this side base is gonna remain as it, but not in this game. In this game this 5-day base will absolutely disappear after the 5 days. This same culture event is gonna come back later in the game, but the base will be totally erased. You will start from zero. So at this point, you just have to remember to do not spend any gems in those allied culture, because this is really wasting your gems. The allied culture is for 5 days, especially that at the start you are just discovering. You really don't want to spend gems on this. Also, a very important point, as I was telling, those allied culture events are gonna come back. It's very important, guys, to remember what you've learned during this event, because you're gonna be able to apply those learnings in the new event. The first one will be disaster. The second one will be, okay, I remember this thing, I'm gonna be okay this instead. And the third one is gonna be, okay, I'm aiming for this objective, I know how to play this game now, let's go. This is one of the also very thrilling part of the game. So at the beginning it's a bit tricky. You're like, why I'm losing every work I've made for 5 days, but that's the exact principle of that event. You have to do your best performance for 5 days and try to do better for the next one. Remember, for allied culture and every EM, you cannot lose those. Even if the campaign, the allied culture campaign is over, you will still keep your antimatters. Okay guys, now for the 5th point, I'm gonna start with the campaign. So the campaign has chapters, a lot of them, and for each chapter you have to pass those 9 levels. Each level is gonna get one specific reward. For each level of the campaign, you will get a lot of information with this small window. So first of all, you're gonna know the number of the waves that the level is getting. Also, you will get a lot of information about the kind of enemy you are gonna encounter. So as I was explaining at the start of the video, adapt your composition regarding the small troops or big troops and the colors. And when you're gonna pass the 9 of those, you're gonna get this specific reward, the chapter reward. So each chapter has its own reward, and in those rewards you're gonna see that you're gonna get a lot of map expansions. So I'm gonna talk about this right now. Basically, at the start of the game, you will not get a lot of things to do. You will do a lot of campaign and you will unlock a lot of new levels. At this point, you will get a lot of expansions. So you're gonna get, okay, those expansions are pretty easy to get. I'm gonna use my gems in something else. And that's the point where I want to get your attention, because right now and at my stage of the game, those gems are very, very useful to open new slots at a certain point, and I will say at different points you're gonna get stuck in the campaign. Right now for me the campaign is very hard and I am not getting my map expansions as quick as I would like, so basically I use my gems into those map expansions. This is a 100% free-to-play account, of course, but you're gonna get 150 free gems every month through the season pass, and right now you have to keep those. If you really want to use them, you can build, because those are pretty worthy, you can build this special luxurious culture site that will provide a big boost of culture. It's buggy right now, of course. My advice here, guys, do not use your gems too fast in the game, especially not in those, consumable advantages. You can get this consumable very easily in other ways in the game, so keep those precious resources, especially if you're not planning to put money in this game. Those are very, very rare. If you don't really know how to invest them for now, that's not the big deal here. Keep them and you will find a very good use later in the game. As you can see, this is my latest expansion that I just opened, and I spent 690 gems into it, and the next one is gonna be 890. So the gem cost is gonna upgrade after any expansions. Say I've spent 7, I don't remember honestly, but yeah, I do remember that I spent my gems on this, and right now this open slot is gonna help me into my transition. I'm gonna build some small home and delete one medium home, etc., etc., to help me rebuild my base. But remember, at the beginning, you're gonna get a lot of those quite easily. My best recommendation here, guys, will be to keep your gems, and yeah, that's it. And besides that, if you ever get stuck in the campaign or in a different aspect of the game, you can of course find the help of the community. First of all, you can put in the comments what is your problem. I'm gonna answer you. I read all the comments and I answer all the comments, so that's the first step. You also can join my Discord if you don't want to put any comments on YouTube. There is the link in description. There is also a lot of different websites that will help you through different guides. And there is of course this YouTube channel where you can find a lot of information. And if you already know what we've seen in this video, or if you want to get to the next step, you can check this video right here that will gonna give you a little bit more advanced tip so you can keep learning in this fabulous game. Thank you guys and bye bye.
Cracking thickness, it's been a long time. I ain't seen you in a minute, but you've been on my mind. I'll be trapped.